Have a shot. 30 seconds. I'm on right now. I don't believe you.
Run.
What?
You're terminated, fucker.
You fucking nicked me, old beauty! Right.
Oh God. Welcome to the stream, everyone. This Tuesday, Brews Day. This is the Brews at 10 on my left eye. Let's brew this thing, people. I assure you it's a Tuesday. Can see some slight confusion in the chat. No, definitely Tuesday, not PMQs. If it is actually Wednesday, then you're all fucked because we've not prepared PMQs whatsoever. No, it's definitely Tuesday. Thanks for the early watermelons and flags in chat as well. Let's see, whom do we have? The shouty bloke, Davini Robbins. Nice to see you. Aaron Gray. Solidari-Tea. Graham Turner's with us as well as Idiosyncrasy. And I'm a poet and I didn't know it. Thanks for joining us. More names coming in as we speak. Andy Carter in the house. Solidarity, brother. Could be like the little intro there, as usual. Yeah, a bit of a catch-up stream this evening. We've got PMQs tomorrow, so don't want to risk getting overwhelmed, because who knows? Anyone could get sacked or arrested in the next 24 hours. So let's get today's stories out of the way, and we'll see what happens tomorrow as PMQs returns, of course, after a week of recess. But what we're hoping you're going to do, kicking off, is hit thumbs up on the stream. We really would appreciate that. Abdul Q, great to see you in the chat. Thanks a lot for joining us. Thanks a lot for your recent comments on content as well. Pleasure as always. Good evening. Yes, so please do hit thumbs up, give us a share on your social media. You know the relevant buttons, people. Another reminder, please, that there's a new hype feature. If you're watching on mobile or tablets, please do open some of our recent content, and once you hit the thumbs up button, it might give you the option to hype. Depending on a few things, including where you're watching from and what sort of a mood YouTube are in today. I don't know. Yes, that was a bit of a sore comment. We've had some memberships bounce back recently. In fact, that's the one thing I knew that I'd forgotten to do before we started. Unfortunately, people. In fact, just got to reset this. Just give me 2 seconds here, people. You might experience some buffering for a moment or two. As I just make a few adjustments. Andy Carter, thanks a lot for that gifted membership, though. Right, let's. I was actually a scheduled bufferage. Apologies for that. Thanks for your patience for a few moments, and nice to see as we return. I was only gone a few moments, but missed some more exciting events. So Andy Carter with a gifted membership, and another gifted membership. I see the tactic, Andy. You're doing them one by one in order to try and catch out the rebounds. I like it. If that's the intended style, good idea, my friend. So we were on 193, and we have 2 from Andy Carter there, and 5 from Abdul. Thank you very much for that. Okay, so that brings us up to the 200. Ah, fantastic. What a beautiful round number. So please do big up Abdul and Andy Carter in the chat, please, everybody. Show some solidarity. Really do appreciate that. 200. 200, Phil. Thank you.
Can you dig it? Can you dig it? Can you dig it?
Have you had enough, Nazi, or do you want some more?
Many thanks again for helping us get past that target for the second time. Abdul and Andy. And also a bullseye. Let's see what's going on there. Yes, they've landed. They've all landed. Yeah, we were on 208 at the end of the last stream. We did get up to 211 following, what would that have been, Thursday's stream? Did we do a stream on Friday? No, it was Thursday. I'm sure it was. I have slept since and may have forgotten. Okay. I genuinely appreciate that. You're good people.
Jurassic Park.
So on that note, let's actually give a shout out to the 193. It'll be my pleasure to add the 7 to the list. Just the regular members scroll at the moment, but we will have the new one that's going to run all week, I think, with the accordion solo, the extended version from Squeezebox, Dave Newby and Joey Ludlow. Friends on the channel, so that would help give them a plug. And it's a smoking hot accordion solo, but I shouldn't be talking about accordion solos. I should be plugging the channel at this point and highlighting the fact that obviously you're aware that gifted memberships are open, but super chats are also available, as well as super stickers if you're watching live. If you're watching back later on, perhaps. Super thanks are available, and there's a Buy Me a Coffee page in the description of any content on the channel. If you don't have the means to contribute via YouTube, thank you very much, everybody, for all of your support. Yeah, chuffed to stay over that 200 margin as well, as we remain on the march towards 250. What did the Romans do at 12:30? Aaron Gray, is this a joke? At 12:30? Or is it a Bible passage? I don't Okay, but apart from lunch, plumbing, the aqueducts, education, public health, irrigation, what have they ever done for us? Not as much as the marvellous members have done for this channel, so thank you very much for your support. Stall is closed. I believe the plugging has ended. Apart from just one more thing to say, give us a follow on social media as well. That was it. At MyLeftRUK is the handle that you're looking for, please, people. On Blue Sky, at Twitter or Mastodon. No poll tonight, Divinia, no, but we do have another, I believe it's actually 2 gifted memberships. Yeah, thanks for the attempt at 5, Abdul. We've had a glitch recently, we can see in the chat there. Only 2 received, unfortunately. And I can see, let's just check on YouTube Studio. Yeah, we've had 9 members on the stream, 9 new members on the stream, that is. Thank you very much for the attempts. Let's increase the total by 2 nonetheless, and give Abdul another shout out in the chat, please, everybody. 202. We're getting there. We're getting there. We'd be over the line if it wasn't for this glitch, wouldn't we? It was happening for some weeks. At one point last year, wasn't it? It's back again. Coming in phases, but this thing with yeah, people's handles instead of usernames as well in the chats is that's been permanent for some time now. No idea how to amend that. I'm sure I've pointed it out to Tech a few times. Hey, your shit keeps crapping out on my live streams, mother. Just a reminder, yeah, I have made official inquiries where the memberships not going through is concerned. Didn't get too clear of an answer with it. It's quite difficult in the line of proceedings to actually communicate with a human being. Shall we get into proceedings, people?
On with it. Yes, get on with it.
Okay. Kick off with a short comedy clip from Exploding Heads, who feature regularly on the channel. The membership has disappeared, Phil. I don't see the membership on my... There you go. Stop leaning on the console. Put that down. But stop that. Right. Moving on, yeah. Exploring Heads feature. Colin from Portsmouth, as I'm sure. As I'm sure most of you are already aware. Let's just get into this one now.
Colin from Portsmouth is on the line. Hello, Colin.
I am in disbelief, Anthony. Total disbelief.
Right.
Former Mountbatten Prince Windsor and the Mandelson, formerly known as Peter, who would have clocked on that they'd be wrong uns?
Well,
it just goes to show, Anthony, that in this world, it don't matter how rich you are, how powerful, no one's above the law.
well, of course,
Apart from the people in those documents that clearly are above the law, such as... who apparently can't recall anything from back then. Oh, and not forgetting the entire board of and him too.
well,
And then there's also and he's right up there. Oh, and the bloke who owns logistics, the chairman of and he's obviously guilty but will get away with it. And of course there's and the senior partners at Finance. But apart from all of them, let's be thankful that at last justice is being served. Thanks for having me on. Love to the family.
love to the family, Colin.
Oh, and
Colin from Portsmouth.
Awesome stuff from the Exploding Heads, yeah. He also forgot Lord Bleep, Sir Bleep, and Bleep Bleep, Right Honourable MP for Bleepton. Is that Morse code for SOS? Well, it must be Morse code for something. Yeah, they certainly need a Peter Mandelson does at the moment, that's for sure. Great as always from Exploding Heads. I'll pop a link post-stream in the description. Go and give them a follow. More comedy to come later on. I'm actually going to reuse one already used recently, but quite enjoyed it. Background music. Yeah, that Bleep Bleep, Right Honourable Member of Parliament for Bleepton. I've heard some really dodgy stuff about them. Yeah, good point. You should also check that you're in live chats. There we go. Ignore that third option, you won't see that unless you're live streaming. There are two options, live chat and top chat. I don't know why they don't just put up live chat. Whatever. How does it determine what a top chat is? I don't know. That's completely separate from top fans, by the way. Gets more convoluted. Sorry, I'm explaining this like you've never used YouTube before, which of course most of you clearly have. Get on with it. Seriously though, do check that you're on top chat. Even live streamers forget sometimes. For now. Big Jerry, nice to see you. Big up to Big Jerry in the chat. Solidari-Tea, thanks for joining us. Yeah, quite a sprightly mood. There's been two decent arrests on the bounce, and none of them have been climate protesters or people who've stood up against a genocide, so yay. We're on a roll. The Greens are the favourites in Gorton and Denton, which is coming up in just a couple of days' time. We have, of course, got hot seats coming up on tonight's live stream. Going to be taking a look at that, but in 48 hours time, people, could be bringing you some potentially exciting exit polls. I really hope that they're doing exit polls at this one. So there might not be much to talk about on the stream if there isn't. No, only joking. We'll keep up with events. In fact, fuck it. Let's just jump on bus and go over to Garson. Don't know why I did that in a West Lancashire accent. It's the other direction. We're going east. We're going south. But not too far away from where the stream's coming to you from tonight. I'm pretty optimistic. I don't know about you people. Feeling pretty optimistic about Hannah Spencer's chances. Now, still the bookies' favourites. Still leading in the polls. More about that to come. Fingers crossed, of course, for the Greens. Some of the trolling of this has been of expectedly poor quality. I'm sure that you've experienced it as well on your social media. Going into Gorton and Denton stuff. These people talk sense, you know. They're the same people who told us to vote for the Conservative Party for a decade and a half. They're also the people who said that Jeremy Corbyn had ruined the country and encouraged us to leave the single market and customs union. What wisdom, what great seers. Tell us, oh wise ones, what should we do next? Oh, vote for reform? Oh, but now you think it might be restore instead, we'll come back and ask you in a fucking week. You know what you're getting with that lot, don't you? That's a good idea, Andy. Could do my own. We could do. Well, we've got to do the stream as well. But yeah, I wish. What, live outside broadcast? This thing nearly craps out every time I open like 3 layers on top of one another, and you want us to decide to do it? Okay, maybe. Could do it on mobile, I guess. But then I'd have to send Phil to the shop to buy a SIM. Or something like that. I wish could spend the day outside polling stations of Gorton and Denton. Unfortunately, do have a job to do. This channel is just part-time where I'm concerned, although, you know, we try and bring you as much content as possible. But yeah, don't quite have the capacity to do exit polls. We'd get Peter Mandelson to do it for us, but you wouldn't want him hanging around a fucking school all day, would you? And more on that to come. Yeah, Doc, nice to see you on chat as well, by the way. Facebook has gone completely wild. It's more or less, it's difficult to figure out what's worse at the moment, Facebook trolls or Twitter, of course. Twitter going way downhill post Musk purchase. Probably the worst $8 billion anyone's ever spent, let's be honest. But yeah, it's really bad. That's all they put, you know. Vote reform, vote reform, vote reform, you know. Or where a Green Party video or whatever's concerned, they'll just post crazy, or loonies, or this and that. And this is coming from people who think that someday the UK will be exclusively full of Caucasians. But we're nuts for being socialists, of course, don't forget. And wanting higher wages, lower bills, a livable future. A planet that we can survive on that isn't being completely knackered at the behest of rich fossil fuel companies. We must be mad. Edward Sexby also landing in the chat. Nice to see you. Yes, you are coming up on chats. as verified on screen. Let's get into this then. I mean, I could watch this on loop quite relentlessly. Well, I might as well come out and be completely honest with you people. Bit of a confession time here on the stream. I'm going a bit off script here, guys. I hope you don't mind just sharing a bit. I could have something of a personal problem now watching this on loop. I've also in the last 48 hours, because there was the Andrew thing as well. Don't forget, I've spent £47.80 on popcorn in the last 48 hours. That's nearly £1 an hour. I'm sorry. No. Yeah, you could just but no handcuffs. I mean, come on. When they're arresting the disabled people and the old ladies, they put them in handcuffs. Where Mandelson's handcuffs, you can just see him there with his fucking gut hanging out of his fucking long sleeve gilet combination thing. What do you call that fucking jacket, whatever it is? He's still a prick, whatever the jacket's called. Yeah, just... You are nicked. We're the Sweeney, we haven't had any dinner. So unless you want to... Well, I'm not sure if I'll get away with saying the rest of that line on stream. There's no racial slurs in it or anything, it's just pertaining to violence. Accused of making threats even though it's just a joke, because some people don't have a sense of humour, do they? You can't say anything these days. Oh no, look at his poor face there. Let's zoom and enhance here. Wonder what's going through his fucking Freudian nightmare of a brain there. Yeah, we'll need bigger prisons, Graham, absolutely. Can we not just build one for everyone who should be arrested because of what's released in the Epstein files? Let's not forget, and we're coming on to his response about why he was arrested in a moment, but let's not forget he was charged with sharing sensitive classified information with Jeffrey Epstein, of course. No mention of being associated with a massive international fucking pedo ring or anything like that. Oh no. So far, still. You could technically say that information released because of the Epstein files has led to this, but not concerning the, you know, the trafficking on the island and all the rest of this. It's separate, so still no arrest where that's concerned. No arrest for anything in the United States. Oh, except one of the victims got arrested, didn't they? Yeah. Unbelievable. People are going to look back through history and go, like, was this Kash Patel guy just completely stupid or lacked any sensory perception whatsoever? But the latest is he's claiming he was arrested because he was a flight risk. Now, just to clear that up for anybody who doesn't know what this is about or the context of that, it's not a flight risk in the sense that they shouldn't go to an airport and get on a plane because they might do something violent, if that makes sense, or whatever. No, as in, basically, he'll pack up and fuck off. That kind of flight. So, his lawyers are claiming that that's why he was arrested when the police themselves, and this was a specialist metropolitan police unit, let's not forget, they said themselves that he was arrested because of this classified information sharing, of course pertaining to the £500 billion euro currency bailouts back in the 2000s. Gave Epstein advance knowledge of that, goodness knows what he did with it, goodness knows how much money he made off of it, but let's you can bet your bottom dollar that would have been a princely sum. We'll get on to former princes after Mandelson. Sorry, just a bit of a smug grin on my face at the moment because of these two arrests. Yeah, but that's quite pathetic where damage limitation is concerned. I guess it's Mandelson's attempt at damage limitation anyway, with what he's come out with today. Oh, I wasn't arrested for what the police said they arrested me for. That's like, you know, let's say they catch a serial killer. Think of a famous one who actually got arrested. Ted Bundy. Yeah, he represented himself in court. That's not what this is about, but let's say when he was arrested, he was like, oh, they're saying I murdered all these women, but no, I was actually arrested for jaywalking. And okay, admittedly shoplifting as well. I stole the Snickers from the, what do they have over there? 7-Eleven, Mart K 7-Eleven shop. It's the same thing. And it's just a completely classic display of the hubris of this man. The ego of this, I use the term man lightly, this sort of clumped together bit of organic matter, if you want to put it that way. This waste of oxygen that is Peter Scandelson. How stupid does he think that we are? And spin has obviously been a large part of his political career. But even, you know, to the end, even in these openly obvious circumstances as to why he's been arrested, he still tries to put a spin on it. Or he does through his solicitors, through his lawyers, I should say. What a... shit. What was that? Sorry. Sorry if that went loud for you as well. Easy on the faders, though. Get the monkey off the fucking console, Philip. Jesus. Lost my fucking train of thought now. I was fucking on a roll there. No, this guy's... he's just a massive cunt, isn't he? There's only... and I don't say that on stream very often, but I hope you'll forgive me for using it in the context of this, as I said, clumped together bit of organic matter, some sort of, you can vaguely describe it as a carbon life form of some type. Phil's the mute producer in the studio. He doesn't talk. It's a protest. Why he doesn't talk? Well, that's what he writes about not doing it, at least. Wink, wink. Okay. I'm just going to quickly pull up an article as well about this from today. Hope you enjoyed his shitty microwave meals, by the way. I've had quite a few of them myself in my time. But yeah, I was arrested for defending the planet, not for giving sensitive information to a foreigner. Let's see what's happening. You're going to have to cross your fingers here, people. Things have gotten a bit glitchy during screen sharing on recent streams. Hopefully all's going to be well with this one. Success. I've done it now, I've jinxed it. Probably. Right, so they've said there's absolutely no truth in the suggestion that Lord Mandelson was planning to leave the UK and move abroad. Yeah, it wouldn't be like him to be spineless and try and do one. No, it would be just atypical of him though, wouldn't it? A spokesperson for Michon de Reya, Lord Mandelson's lawyers, said he was arrested yesterday despite an agreement with the police that he would attend an interview next month on a voluntary basis. No, that wasn't the accusation, of course. Does he address that at all? That's pretty much what I'm interested in here. Whether they address the actual allegations. Quick skim through, was in the station for 9 hours, it says. But no. So, the only statement he's made is on something that didn't happen. And that's Mandy. Yeah. Just sums up what kind of a person he is. Why did you kill all these people? Oh, I strenuously deny the accusation of shoplifting and jaywalking. No, you got arrested for killing loads of people. I always cross the road in the expected fashion. I've never taken anything from a shop. Peter, can you actually hear the words that are coming out of my mouth? Fucking hell. So that's just about it on Peter Mandelson. And now, moving on to his buddy though, and another close friend of Jeffrey Epstein. Joffrey the rabbit. Sorry, you'll get what that's about with the repeated comedy clip later, which nearly killed me on Sunday. Mustn't think about it, have to get through the stream. So yes, Mountbatten Windsor Sachs Coburg Gotha came up in Parliament today, and it was all about the tradition, of course, in Parliament that they're not allowed to criticise the royals. It's definitely not a rigged system or establishment based, and Parliament is kept separate from the Crown. 100% assure you. You live in a democracy, keep calm and carry on. You live in a democracy, keep calm and carry on. You live in a democracy, keep calm and carry on. You know. And they have concluded as well that they're going to have a good old rifle through these files. From pedo files to classified files. Is this bookmarked? I believe it is. Yeah. MPs back move to release files on Andrew Mountbatten Windsor Coburg Sachs Gotha's appointment as a trade envoy. Pretty much, whose fucking dumb idea was this? And Chris Bryant, current Trade Minister, has described Andrew as rude, arrogant and entitled, as the government supports a Lib Dem motion forcing ministers to release files on his appointment in 2001. Now I'm not going to play it. I think it's somewhere in this article. Yeah, it's there. Well, that shit always lags when I try and play it on stream. Sorry. But basically, Ed Davey was on the Today programme, was it? On Radio 4, yeah. And they pointed out that back in the day, they did actually stand behind the former prince, as he was at the time, and approved of his appointment. So there's a bit of double standards there coming from the Lib Dems. It's almost as though they, you know, pretend to be nice all of the time, but when it comes to the crunch and when the chips are down, they always side with the right. Like they did in... which one was it? 2010, of course. The Coalition of Chaos. So O'Brien also said, pardon me, the government would comply with the motion as fast as they possibly can, although he said the live police investigation into Andrew could cause delays. Andrew, that is, was released under investigation last week after his arrest on suspicion of misconduct in public office. He's previously denied any wrongdoing over his links to Jeffrey Epstein, but has not responded to this specific allegation. So, civil servants have spoken to Bryant about their interactions with him. He says they all betray the same pattern: a man of constant self-aggrandising and self-enriching hustle, a rude and arrogant and entitled man who could not distinguish between the public interest which he served and his own private interest. Chris, you are describing royalty. You are describing the monarchy. It's like he's never even heard of it. Keep up, Brian. Jesus Christ. The Lib Dems used scheduling debating time allocated to the party to force the government to agree to a so-called humble address that compels ministers to release information on Mountbatten, Windsor, Coburg, Saxe-Goath's appointment. This type of motion is generally seen as binding and was successfully used by the Conservatives earlier this month to force the government into releasing material relating to Lord Mandelson's appointment as US Ambassador in late 2024. Okay, not going to go through the video like I said, but that's more or less it. We're going to have to wait till more of the information comes out until we get to the juicy bits, but by all accounts, yeah, he's a stuck-up absolute piece of shit. Across the board, pretty much everybody who's ever worked for or with him. Even his bed full of teddy bears probably think that he's a fucking twat. And quite rightly so. There was... oh, I should have... God, I should have got it for the stream. Channel 4 it was, and goodness knows how they did it, but through their archives they dug out old interviews about palace staff, and I believe it was members of the police, how they used to refer to Prince Andrew, and the interviewer asked him directly and it, you know, ended up on the cutting room floor because it wouldn't have made it to broadcast. But when asked what his nickname was, apparently it was just the cunt. Yeah. And the guy who's being interviewed is like, well, I'll tell you, but it's, you know, it's a bit rude and you're definitely not going to be able to broadcast it. And then he just says it, yeah. Also, the cunt's on his way now. Even his own security staff, the police, you know. His special friend is Don Davinia. A magical island with his special friends. Andre, and Joffrey. Oh, God. Compose yourself. When he was in custody, was it, can we get some more teddy bears in here? I've never slept in a bed without a teddy bear in it. Ever. Come here, listen here, you oik. You wouldn't put it past him, would you? What's the problem with the teddy bear situation? Sorry about that. Reset the music instead of turn the window off. Get that idiot off my screen. Be gone. Be gone. Mountbatten, Windsor, Coburg, Saxe, Gotha. Got more names than fucking Gandalf. Yes, a replay of that is coming up later. The Intel Lady clip, fantastic. Yeah, starts off a bit slow, gets better and better and better. It's still good at the start. Where are we going to next? Oh yeah, got a couple of snippets. Just going back to the Mandelson thing. So ever since these revelations now and his arrest, Corbyn has come out and been very outspoken about what happened during his time as leader of the Labour Party and just how much of a role Peter Mandelson had in trying to undermine him. Here's another example that just came out in the last couple of days. I don't know if you've seen this one. It's short but very sweet.
The malign influence of Mandelson and his acolytes and this unseemly relationship between the right of the Labour Party, big money and big business, and media that were sympathetic to them. Remember the way in which the Murdoch media embraced Blair and New Labour, embraced the move to the right, embraced the move towards a market economic system.
Oh yeah. How many successive prime ministers did he keep in? That is Rupert Murdoch. Certainly kept the Tories in. And then when he decided he had had enough of them and John Major, he switched over to Blair. Around the mid-90s, back Blair. And they say that he's more or less out of it now. His sons, or one of his sons, whatever, is going to be taking over. They're all crap. There's been a big argument, actually, about it. The inheritance, that is, of the company. Sky News Corp, whatever it is. So, that's absolutely true, what Corbyn's saying, as far as the media goes, unfortunately. That's what it was, if you look at it historically, back through the 80s and 90s. Of course, the News of the World scandal, bringing shame on him many years ago now. But here we still are, after the fact. It would have been good if we could have done something about it at the time, or someone could have done something about it at the time. And the same goes for when Jeremy Corbyn was leader of the Labour Party. But this pool of people, that the same names keep coming up: Mandelson, Murdoch, Blair, and then in a sec, after this clip, we're going to hear about how Mandelson then sort of, tried to clone himself and had a big hand in creating the recently sacked Morgan McSweeney as well.
And so it didn't all happen in the last 2 or 3 weeks. It didn't all happen just with the Epstein files. There's something there in the background.
Well, yeah, it was the neoliberal establishment within the Labour Party. That is what was, well, not, he says in the background, it was at the start, and then unfortunately wormed its way towards the foreground with chicanery and some very underhanded tactics as well. What a pit of snakes. Square peg. Did I say noose of the world? Might as well have been. Yeah, of course, the phone hacking scandal brought them down. Let me see. I'm going to have to grind the memory gears here from that story. But I have some information. Millie Dowler, was it? Was murdered, and they hacked her phone. In doing so, listened to a voicemail, which the police then were led to believe meant that she was still alive when she wasn't, and her parents thought that she was still alive. That wasn't just it, though. There were a series of celebrities, so many of them. I think Hugh Grant was one of the major ones who came out and spoke about obviously the royal family as well. Bollocks to them, though. A lot of other actors and musicians and whatnot who've been hounded by the press and subject to hacking as well. Good riddance as far as that publication's concerned. And print media continues to diminish, well, by the month. Now, let's be honest, it's 2026 people. 21st century people are getting the news in the palms of their hands and in front of whichever device you're watching this live stream on. This is the Brews at 10 on my left eye. And make sure that you've hit thumbs up, people. Yeah, unfortunately, the Morgan that is Piers remains at large. At least on the issue of Gaza, he seems to have come round a bit lately, but no, that doesn't forgive any of his previous or other twattery, that's for certain. He was sacked as editor of the Sunday Mirror, was it? Again, over another scandal. That was during the Iraq war, was it? He published fake pictures of the British Army, supposedly, allegedly, abusing inmates in a prison that were fake, and fake stories as well, about things that British soldiers had did. We are, of course, aware of what went on in Guantanamo Bay. The actions of America, completely abhorrent. Fortunately, officially at least, it seems that the British Army wouldn't use such tactics. And he's still a wanker, Piers Morgan, by all accounts. Yes, so this is Peter Auborn, who clearly remembers when Morgan McSweeney was weaving his way to power. He had a bit of help, excuse me, from his friend, special friend. They're all special friends, magical islands and special friends. You know who, Petey.
Morgan McSweeney. He's noticed by Peter Mandelson, and it seems to be trained by Peter Mandelson.
Special
who
friend.
says, you know, he's the most wonderful. He's on record as saying that Morgan McSweeney is the most wonderful thing, and so that would have been what 30, almost 25 years ago, I suppose. And so, this is and so you cannot understand McSweeney without Mandelson. McSweeney is,
Yeah, because he was there back in the day, 35 years ago, deep in the heart of politics. Seen it all.
sponsored originally, or Mandelson's his mentor, and then of course McSweeney.
Oh, can you imagine that? Oh, like taking political tips or even life lessons, whatever, from Mandelson. Like, how hollow do you have to be to look up to someone like that? And, you know, there's a good few years there between Morgan McSweeney and Mandelson. What, about 3 decades? I'm not certain exactly how old Morgan McSweeney is. But see, basically my point is he must have been aware of what happened. He must have been aware of why he was sacked by Blair, even, at least. No. Whatever will help him. They don't think about these sort of things. These what are they called again? Oh yeah, morals and serving the British public when they're trying to further their own careers.
Talks to him all the time, according to reports, when he's in Downing Street, and then McSweeney brings...
Yeah, Mandy's in his early 70s, and I have, McSweeney about 40-ish? I don't know.
Mandelson gets Mandelson the choice job in the British diplomatic establishment in Washington, and it's all come tumbling down since then. What matters is money. Values don't count for nothing. Donors matter.
Davinia, yes, he has been around since the mid-80s, and that was verified and proven by a picture of him with a moustache that wasn't taken in the last 5 years.
Everything. And so Mandelson's, and he brings the Epstein class into politics. It's not just...
I'm not saying he had a moustache in the last 5 years, I'm saying that they came back into fashion in the last 5 years, having gone out of favour. During the 1990s. Anyway, it was a cultural reference. I'll have to skip back now because I'd got sidetracked with that thought about moustaches coming back with the mullets because of the Stranger Things thing.
Donors matter, count for everything. And so Mandelson's, and he brings the Epstein class into politics. It's not just Epstein, it's just a series of super rich individuals who start to...
McSweeney's 48, yeah. So what, 25-ish years between the two of them? He must have known. That was my point, he must have known. Didn't you get sacked twice in very scandalous circumstances, Peter Mandelson? It says here they call you the Prince of Darkness as well. What's all that about? Look, kid, do you want a career or not? I say, kid, you're in your 40s, but you're a kid to me. Is that what he would have said? I don't know. Fucking hell. Just try and imagine the conversation. Best not to, I think.
Fund the Labour Party. The same thing is going on in the Tories. And Mandelson, more than anybody else, other people involved, have transferred very quietly, very silently, British politics from being democratic to being oligarchical in the course of 35, 40 years.
Well, that's been the thing, yeah. And it's the same as what Trump wants to do in America now, the irony of obviously the Constitution, but he still wants to be king. Here, we're supposed to have the same thing, the House of Commons and the House of Lords, separate from the monarchy. But when that is becomes autonomous, when it becomes an autocracy, then it might as well be a monarchy. The reasoning for not wanting a monarchy is because we don't want everything just channeling to one person's decision, whether that's a politician or someone who wears a crown and holds a scepter covered in jewels that were stolen from fucking Africa and India. You know what I mean? I feel like I'm taking crazy pills. Yeah, great interview there from Politics Joe. I've not checked out the full interview yet, but I certainly intend to. I'm certain that most of you are already familiar with Politics Joe, but if not, go over and subscribe to the YouTube and stuff. Excellent. Well put there from Mr. Oborn. Let's have some music, shall we? But that will be all. Mandelson and went back and wins a multiple surname. Former Royal for now.
On with it. Yes, get on with it.
On to student loans. Next, yes, a bit of a change in legislation where student loans have come in. And we're going to take a look at a bit of a snippet from the Newsnight interview over this. Just bring this up now. Okay, got it. Yeah, it's unbelievable now. Before I play the clip, because playing the clip isn't a legitimate sentence, you understand. Before I play the clip, it's what's the word? I've lost the word. It sums it up best as an example of just how far to the right Labour have lurched. Because now, on policy, that is, on stated policy, the Tories now have a more left-leaning approach to student finance than the Labour Party. And I guess when they said that they were done with, air quotes, student politics, they just pretty much meant they're going to carry on shafting students right up the arse. But then why don't we have all these professionals and skilled people and academics? Oh, that's right, because they didn't have the incentives to go into further education, and we've not been taking migrants in to such positions because that'll piss off the reform voters, won't it? What a situation to be in. So yeah, let's go through this interview and then talk a bit more about the details, because it really is awful. A lot of professionals have been paying off the student loans for well over a decade or so, and still owe more than they originally borrowed, still owe more than when they left university because of compound interest payments and other things like that. It's, you know, if you want an educated society, they're certainly not putting the carrot on the stick, unless, of course, you're from the upper classes, of course.
Your government unilaterally changed the terms of the loans in the last budget. Students were told when they started uni the threshold at which they would increase.
So this is what's she called, Georgia Gold.
Your government unilaterally changed the terms of the loans in the last budget. Students were told when they started uni the threshold at which they would increase would keep in line with earnings. In the last budget, you froze the student loan repayment threshold. That's outrageous, isn't it?
It is. It is. It's a rare occasion that I'm finding myself agreeing with a BBC interviewer. This isn't Gothenburg, though.
So we've increased the threshold this year, but it's true that over the next 2 years there's plans to freeze it. Mm-hmm. And you know, this is a
another example of Labour. This is, God, so fucking mind-blowingly frustrating. Trying to gloat about freezing something, holding the status of something that is bad and is doing damage. For example, bills, utility bills. They're at a record high. Well, great news. We've frozen them there. What? No, we need them to come down. Vote Labour. We've frozen it. Yeah, interest payments. We're talking about junior doctors and things like this. They're having to get second jobs just to pay off the student debt. Tens of thousands of pounds here, people. Some people leave certain degrees and then go on to postgrad studies, masters, etc., with almost 6 figures worth of debt. And of course, we know who set this all up in the first place. Well, wouldn't you Adam and Eve it, people? It's the aforementioned, recently mentioned, Tony Blair. Yes. Market creator. Let's see this. Goodness me. We could turn this into a market, isn't it? Well, they'll be personally indebted to the student loans company that we're going to set up for the rest of their working lives, but sounds good to me.
System that we inherited. It's
No. You didn't inherit the freezing of the repayment thresholds. You did that in the last budget.
Yeah.
They clearly think that nobody's got a memory where this thing's concerned. I totally agree with that in the chat as well, by the way, Big Jerry. Free education, that should be it. Grants should be brought back as well. And universities are complaining that they just don't have the numbers now to fill a lot of the courses. And they can't put 2 and 2 together, can they? Another good example there in the chat, Aaron Gray, 37 grand. 37 grand for 9 months. What, Masters in Philosophy is that? Unbelievable. Yeah, and back in the day, you get a grant. It wasn't loads, obviously. Students notoriously not exactly having money falling out of their pockets. Again, of course, if it's not coming from mum and daddy in the upper classes and in private education, you know what I'm talking about. But generally, the incentive was that they wanted to learn. You know, they'd have to go through all of that brief period of hardship in their lives for a better future, you know, for themselves and for society. Yeah, because we used to actually lead the way in a lot of academic fields. Of course, notoriously the sciences and the arts being two of the more prominent ones as well. Other elements within science, of course, technical innovation, certainly deserves a shout. It could go on longer. These are crumbling now. They've been decimated by this government, and all that they can do is stick the inheritance on loop with a smattering of 22 billion black hole on a side plate of... What's the side plate made of? Neoliberal tears.
No, but I was just saying that it's not a perfect system, and we really acknowledge that. But, you know, we have huge pressures as a government. You know, we are...
It's not an ideal situation. So we've frozen things in a non-ideal situation.
As I was talking about, the investments that we're making in, you know, supporting some of the most vulnerable children are really critically important, and we have to make tough choices because we inherited some very difficult systems.
So it's all...
Just a couple of more points in the chat before I just... I'll have to skip that back a couple of secs to address that. Dylan Mayer, great point there as well. There shouldn't be loans. Initially, loans were interest-free. And they were only for living costs. Loans for tuition fees was the beginning of the end for university students. from working class. Well put there, of course. And it wasn't as though students didn't get into debt before. These came in, there were overdrafts and things like that. They still had to pay those off when they left university. And now they have this on top. That increased burden. Yeah, just absolute best case scenario. There shouldn't be any interest on top, because that's what is eating away at people. But frankly, it should go back to a grant system at the end of the day.
Important, and we have to make tough choices because we inherited some
tough choices, inheritance, tough choices. Yeah, I'm sure that you were pacing the room when you had to make that decision. I'll try and get a suitable freeze frame where we can see the fingernails worn down and all of the flayed skin around them from where you've been biting them endlessly from this tough decision. I suppose you've been smoking 60, 80 cigarettes a day or whatever, and you've picked up some sort of mild opiates, I don't know, to quell the stress. What's going on? You've broken all the stress balls. Yeah, a very difficult decision it was. It was either that or, tax the rich.
Very difficult system.
So it's all right to change the terms of their loan unilaterally, without consultation, without pre-warning, because graduates are paying for other.
So we've increased
vulnerable groups.
We've increased the threshold this year. So there is
sure.
There is a
and then you're freezing it.
And and we've said that this is something that we're going to continue to keep under review. But for that group of young people,
Aaron, it's funny you should bring that clip up. Stay on stream, my friend. You'll see what I mean in a short while.
There is a
and then you're freezing it.
And and we've said that this is something that we're going to continue to keep under review. But
and again, this is strange because the Newsnight presenter is entirely almost echoing my inner monologue at this point. You just told us it's crap and you're freezing it while it's crap.
For that group of young people, we are, I completely acknowledge that this is a group who, have not been the focus.
By the way, this is the Minister for Schools that they've put up to do this interview, as opposed to Education Secretary. Schools, school students don't have student fucking loans. But they get Georgia Gould to come up here and take the beating.
Of investment over years, and that's why we're putting in place the investment.
We know our policies are so bad, whoever's going to have to try and defend them is going to look like a total jackass. Sorry, Ellie, your title loosely fits education, so you'll have to go up there and suffer.
And house building, the support for private renters, the support for childcare, which will support that generation. But I acknowledge it is a very difficult issue.
And finally, the interest charged on student loans is based on the RPI measure of inflation. As you know, the government doesn't even use RPI because you think it overrates inflation. Why is it not good enough for the government, but good enough for students and graduates?
So
the real reason, what they don't say, is just, well, fuck them because they're students. And that's it. I'm sure a lot of us here have been in further education, either at a college or university level, perhaps even further, to PhD or Masters, as you were pointing out, at 37 grand for a 9-month Masters in philosophy. Well, I wonder what Plato would have to say about that one. Certainly know what Karl Marx would make of it, that's for sure. But that's another topic for another stream. And yeah, when you go to uni, it's tough. It's tough. Done it myself. And yeah, it's a lot of debt.
Again, as I said, this is I acknowledge it's not a perfect system. It's a system that we inherited.
We'll swap it to SCPI.
Yeah, but it is a we are in a really a time where because there are so many challenges within our public services. We don't have the resources to invest in absolutely everything. We have to make choices.
But you talk about fairness, and that is not fair, is it? You don't, as a government, you don't even use RPI.
Look, as I say, it's not a perfect system, but it is something.
They scribbled like 6 lines. Just use these. We got you 6 lines. What's inheritance? Yeah, tough choices, difficult decisions, not ideal. Blah, blah, blah. There you go. Off you go. You're on in 3 minutes, by the way. It should be me, but I've got to. Oh, look, it's a lunch with director of a telecoms company or something. Fucking hell. Lining up your next job. Off you go, Georgia. Automaton. Good way of putting it there. Idiosyncrasy, an automaton of the Starmer bot, the production line that he keeps spewing out. It doesn't. No matter what the topic is, though, yeah, they're all the same. They're all the same. Wes Streeting was on. There was a snippet of an interview he did earlier. And again, it's just the same. It doesn't matter which member of the cabinet, which MP it is. It's the same lines. They just slightly adjust the context for the topic. You know, education, health, environment, yada yada. You know what someone should do? Someone incredible should come up with some sort of game that emphasises the repetitiveness of this, and you could do it in the arena of I don't know. I'm just thinking off the top of my head here. Let's say Prime Minister's Question Time in the House of Commons, which happens every Wednesday. No, seriously though, do join us tomorrow for PMQs and Keys catchphrases. I'm sure we'll be hearing a few of those old lines yet again. Vote Labour, get Tory. Get some background music in on this. Deliver black hole plan for change. Deliver black hole plan for change. Oh, we're getting all philosophical in the chat now. Nice. What would Socrates make of it? Not sure. True art of wisdom is in knowing that you know nothing, of course. Which makes Manuel from Faulty Towers the wisest of us all. I would love to chew the fat about philosophy and philosophers for a good while longer, but we have other topics to get onto, people, because it's a very exciting week. Yes, just 2 days from now, we're going to be live on stream, following the latest news on the Gorton and Denton by-election. It's absolutely flown by, not just February on the whole. It only seems like a few days ago when the candidate was announced, but here we are. So we're going to dive into hot seats, see the latest, got a couple of clips. I might try and dig up a few stats, actually. I didn't pull up any of the latest polls from today. There were some that came out yesterday, but yeah, worth a look, worth a look. And, piss balls. Nice try again, MIDI Doctors. 5 gifted memberships. Looks as though they haven't gone through, unfortunately. This glitch. I mean, come on. Come on, YT. Sort it out. Do us a favour. We're a small channel. FFS. Thanks nonetheless, though, MIDI Doctors. Let's give MIDI Doctors a shout out in the chat, please, everybody. As Graham Turner's already done with a 4-star salute. Yes, sir. Quality, effort, yeah, it's been an issue that's come and gone. We've not been able to get to the bottom of it. It should just, yeah, I've messaged them several times. I've made official enquiries, can never get a direct answer. Yeah, it's just really weird. You will be reimbursed. You won't be charged for the 5 memberships. Don't worry. Unfortunately, it's out of our hands. We had it before, yeah, last year on the channel. So it should just select 5 random subscribers. Fortunately, we're very pleased to say that we're heading towards the 6,000 subscriber mark, but we're on 5.7-ish at the time of streaming. So it's not because literally every subscriber is now a member. Four-star salute sounds rude. What kind of parties have you been going to, Andrew? Well, because it's your last day, we planned something special. Come in, lads. Well, maybe like a shop. There's yeah, I mean, for example, you probably know a lot of the video content is made in a similar fashion and whatnot. We have been changing release times and how long we leave it on members first, for example, but yeah, we generally find a successful video that gets thousands of views is then inevitably followed by, I don't want to call it a dud, they still get hundreds of views, of course, we do appreciate those. Just like, for example, the recent one. Yeah, there wasn't a lot in it, just pointing out that Mandy had been arrested, and there wasn't very much news on it at the time, so spent 2.5 minutes basically taking the piss out of him with inserts. There you go. That is insert clips before Andrew Carter gets any other ideas. Don't threaten me with a good time. Right, hot seats. We do have an intro and an outro, of course. You're going to be hearing both. You'll get your fix of Squeezebox and Joey this eve. It's hot. Just 48 hours to go, people. Yep, and as the hours tick away, the final campaigning efforts continue. We're going to take a look at a few of them. First of all, excuse me, a clip from Polanski, because as we've gotten closer to the ballot, the tactics from Labour and Reform have got increasingly dodgy, of course. For the last few days or so at least, desperately trying to cling to the decriminalisation of drugs and coming out with all sorts of nonsense. We saw that official Labour video, which if you'd have shown me that when Jeremy Corbyn was leader of the Labour Party and said it was official Labour, an official Labour video material, I would have laughed you out the street. Seriously. That's what it's become. Let's hear from Zach Polanski.
Thank you very much. Let me speak with absolute clarity. What Keir Starmer and this Labour government have said on drugs policy.
So basically, they insinuated that every park was going to be a crack and smack den. You know, that Zach Polanski is going to be going door to door, giving out free E's and smack to your kids, and he's going to inject the marijuanas into their eyeballs and turn your car into the devil's lettuce.
Is vile. It debases politics, and actually I think people are sick of it, because I think people recognise it's an attack on a party that's trying to have a sensible grown-up conversation about a really serious issue. We have the worst amount of drug deaths in the whole of Europe, and I think that fact's often missing from this conversation. Well, the war on drugs is totally failed, and right now people can get drugs. Sadly, in a playground, people have access to drugs.
Yeah. If anyone's from Manchester on stream, you'll know that you can't walk through Piccadilly Gardens or up Market Street without getting a sniff of weed, because it's just that prevalent. I've seen people literally walking past and in front of and behind of like PSCOs and or policemen openly, and I'm not saying that it's that everybody like gets away with it like that, but you see what I'm getting at. Like Zach's saying, the current system has failed, and if our current recreational areas are already drug dens, then that only highlights that. You can't Keir Starmer can't turn around to people and say, oh, well, if you go and vote for the Green Party, then the thing that's already happening under the current system will happen.
So what we're talking about is regulating drugs. We're saying if people are going to buy drugs, are they going to buy them on street corners, down alleyways, or actually we're going to take a public health approach, which is about harm reduction. Thank you very much.
Yeah, harm reduction, because that is not the focus. That is not the focus at the moment. It would reduce other elements of crime and the black market as well, which are also supported by narcotic sales and things like that. And what's coming from Labour and Reform, we're going to hear from Matt Goodwin as well in a moment. Absolute bollocks. It's just pure hyperbolic fear-mongering about trying to do the sensible, progressive thing and treat this like the issue that it is. It won't be unprecedented either. You know, this has already happened in other countries. They're acting as though we'd be sticking our necks out as pioneers in some way at the forefront of this thing, but no, it's been policy for a number of years now in other countries, and yes, not every country's economy is the same and the demographics are different, of course, but that's not to say that you can't take influence where good ideas is concerned. And it won't do anything to change the availability, like Zach's pointing out. Pretty much if anybody, by whatever means, gets hooked on whatever it is, it becomes readily available to it, you know. generally, if you're in those sort of social areas, you need but ask someone who asks someone who asks someone, or whatever it is. But Labour don't know that. Labour don't recognise that. Of course, they have to defend the current system, the failed war on drugs. But don't get me started on. Have you seen the? Goodness me, having a brain fart. He's a very famous director as well. Oliver Stone documentary concerning the history of American politics. It's rather good, actually, and that's just one example of where he goes into the examples of the war on drugs, this kind of thing, the DEA, countries like, mostly Southern American countries, of course, being brought into this, Colombia, notoriously, Mexico, Nicaragua, these kind of places. Yeah, even if you're already familiar with that period of US history, definitely worth checking out. I can't remember the full title of the documentary series. It was not a standalone film. But if you just put the keywords into your search engine, I'm sure it'll come up. It's Oliver Stone, History of America, or the Untold History of America, or something along those lines. Other sources are available, of course. Just that one was pretty standout for me. Nevertheless, I don't think this kind of hyperbole is going to do the Greens enough damage at the moment. Certainly not to prevent them finishing in front of Labour, but will they finish third? Labour will finish third, but will the Greens finish first? We'll know in 2 days' time-ish. And they even got so desperate in the Labour camp now, considering Andrew Gwynn won the seat with a majority of 13,000 on the 4th of July 2024. To see them now projected and polled across the board to finish third, even the bookmakers agree on this one, and most importantly, the most popular response on our most recent poll on this channel. Considering all of that, it shows you how badly they're doing. What's the response? Backs, of course, are up against the wall at the moment. There's been the Mandelson thing. Calls for Starmer to quit, but no, he decided to throw half a dozen people under the bus instead. And as if things couldn't get any worse, he'd made a personal appearance, because I'm 100% certain, bearing in mind this channel is coming to you from Manchester, we know that they would just welcome him with, oh, he's here, we'll vote for him. Here, look at this. You've probably seen this already, but let's pause it there. First thing to note, he isn't doing this in a massive fucking field, which you need when 300 to 400 people show up to campaign and canvass for you in their spare time. He's got, what, a few dozen there. We're talking about supposedly the largest political party by members in the United Kingdom. Can't get my words out tonight. I assure you, I'm drinking nothing but tea. So very cringe as well. I would also, be willing to bet that a fair few of these people don't come from Manchester either. I wasn't going to be specific with Gorton and Denton, of course, but some of them will have been bussed in from very far away. Nothing wrong with going to campaign outside of your area. I'd be a hypocrite, but, I've done that myself on many occasions, but that's all that he's got, basically. Now, who's this? I will show. Oh, no. So apart from this one guy, two guys there, they also appear to be mostly white. So I'll go and shake his hand. What kind of tea? Just normal. What's known as English breakfast tea, I guess. Made by a company that may or may not have the name of a county of England in its title. That county might be the largest by area in England as well. Oh, the staff made it for me. Why are you giggling? What's going on? Why are you all filming me on your phones? And looking at the cup? Weird. You people are strange. One of them's turned into something else. You know, I'm just like, it's a bit random, people, but I guess I've never done this before. Just I don't know why. Just randomly in this tea. Just randomly in the mood. Should we stick like a whole Genesis album on? Just yeah. What's the longest one? No, only joking. So now that Starmer's been, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they finish 4th or lower now. Oh, it's tense though. It's tense though, isn't it? With just 2 days to go. Matt Goodwin has put out a video as well. I think this came out yesterday. I'm going to play it through, and then I'm going to play through a different version, which is going to be sort of edited for correctness, shall we say. But again, Matt Goodwin scrapes the bottom of the barrel here with these accusations. He brings up the, you know, all your kids are going to be turned into heroin. Or whatever he says. So yeah, I won't interrupt during this brief video. I'll just let it play through first.
Hi everybody, Matt Goodwin, the Reform candidate at the Gorton and Denton by-election, which is on Thursday. Your opportunity to make history is on Thursday, and this is an opportunity to push back against Hannah Spencer and the Greens, who are obsessed with Gaza. They are obsessed with the Muslim vote. They are campaigning in Urdu and Punjabi. They're not interested in Gorton and Denton. They're interested in what's happening in faraway lands. I'm the only candidate at this by-election who is actually going to prioritise Gorton and Denton, the people from Gorton and Denton. I'm the only candidate who will stand up in the House of Commons and not obsess about Gaza, but actually say Gorton and Denton, Gorton and Denton, Gorton and Denton, and bring the respect and recognition and representation that this area desperately needs and which Labour completely disregarded for decades. Vote Reform UK, get rid of Keir Starmer and put Gorton and Denton where it belongs, which is first.
Okay. Right, let's just see that again. Taking the liberty of preemptively analysing this and just making 1 or 2 corrections here, people. Let's see what you think.
Hi everybody, Matt Goodwin.
You pronounced Bell End wrong.
The Reform candidate at the Gorton and Denton by-election, which is on Thursday. Your opportunity to make history.
Yes, it is. Just not in the way that you're thinking. It's actually going to be the first time that the Green Party have landed a seat in Manchester.
Is on Thursday, and this is an opportunity to push back against Hannah Spencer and the Greens, who are obsessed with Gaza.
That's like saying people were obsessed with the Holocaust during World War II, but go on.
They are obsessed with the Muslim vote.
No, they're not. They're just aware of it instead of ignoring it or vilifying it like your pile of racist shite does.
They are campaigning in Urdu and Punjabi.
They're also campaigning in English, Matthew.
They're not interested in Gorton and Denton. They're interested in what's happening in faraway lands. I'm the only candidate
who's from 180 miles away, though did admittedly live in Manchester briefly, but as soon as he moved out, slagged it off to high heaven.
At this by-election, who is actually going to prioritise Gorton and Denton. The people from Gorton and Denton.
People like Hannah Spencer?
I'm the only candidate who will stand up in the House of Commons and not obsess about Gaza.
You're incapable of acknowledging a war crime. Got it.
But actually say Gorton and Denton, Gorton and Denton, Gorton and Denton.
Where have I heard that before?
Education, education and education.
And bring the respect and recognition and representation that this area desperately needs and which Labour completely disregarded for decades. Vote Reform UK, get rid of Keir Starmer and put Gorton and Denton where it belongs, which is first.
Reform PLC's leader Nigel Farage has been to 3 different continents since the last time he visited his constituency in Clacton-on-Sea.
That was the biggest load of crap I've ever heard.
Oh, some excellent analysis from whoever that was. Yeah, it was just coming in so thick and fast when I first saw the video. Couldn't help but make a few corrections because that was piss-boilingly poor stuff there from Matt Goodwin. I think whomever that excellent narrator was there summed it up as best as I could. Nice to see all the flags and watermelons in the chat as well as static emojis. Cool beans, people. Cool beans. Fucking hell. What year is it? I haven't said cool beans since I was at school. Elwido, nice to see you in the chat. Dylan Mayer joining us as well. Solidari-Tea. See some exclusive static emojis as well. Exclusive to members only, just one of the perks of becoming a member. It's just a fraction of the price of a tasty hot beverage, you know, 99 pence. People, you probably can't even buy a weekend broadsheet for 99 pence. You got a whole month's membership to the channel for less than that. And you might want to consider buying yourselves one because if you're sitting around waiting to get a gifted membership to get through the glitch. No, seriously, hopefully that'll soon be amended. It's out of our hands though.
Can you dig it?
Yeah. Yes, no, maybe. It's back here, I think. Yeah, it was, what's the word? Shaking a bit on screen. Buffering for Davinia as well. We're back. Andy Carter says we're back. Proceed. Well, that's pretty much it for Hot Seats. Apart from the outro music, just once more, give a shout out to Squeezebox Dave Newby and Joey Ludlow. The duet on this outro piece as well. But we'll try and give a bit of an update tomorrow if we've got any other news on the seats. And then it's the big day on Thursday. But till tomorrow, that's it for Hot Seats. Squeezebox Dave and Joey Ludlow there. And seriously, if you want to book them, let us know. I believe they are available. But they don't want to play at 10 Downing Street though, unfortunately, for Keith.
Oh no.
A bit more comedy coming up. Goodness me. I nearly choked to death on popcorn over the last 48 hours with the double arrest. And I am now again at risk of having a hernia. This will be the second time that I've watched this all the way through. Literally nearly died. Nearly died on the last stream, but worth playing again for anybody who missed it. I certainly enjoyed it, and I want to watch it again, so you're going to have to as well. This is Intel Lady with Sarah Ferguson.
Well, as you can imagine, it has been an absolutely dreadful, awful, terrible experience for myself, hearing about my husband, ex-husband, friend, person I used to live with, arrest, the indignity of his arrest on his birthday. Of all the days they could have arrested him, they decided to wait until his 66th birthday. I mean, what a bloody awful present for anybody to have on their birthday. Although, to be honest, where he's living at the moment, it might have been quite an exciting experience. I mean, I would have thought, if you'd done something, we've done it all, haven't we? We've had many, we've been to all the exotic places of the world and experienced many things, met lots of famous people, been to the parties, haven't we? But have we ever been arrested? So actually, maybe it was quite a wonderful experience. I mean, obviously it's very serious. It's a very serious, terrible thing that he's been accused of, arrested on suspicion of. I mean, no one's saying that he's definitely. There's a suspicion. I think that's an important word. Suspicion. We'll wait until there's any facts to back up the suspicion. But that's what I'm resting on at the moment. That word, suspicion. I do love words. I write them. I write words. And you should buy my book, available now on Amazon. This feels like an appropriate time to plug my new book, The Prince and His Special Friends. Complete fiction. It's a fictional story all about an honourable prince who went looking for special friends, and he met some wonderful special friends on an island. I won't give you too many spoilers. It really is a truly wonderful book, available now on Amazon, The Prince and His Special Friends. But I'm having a terrible time here in Dubai. As you would imagine, most people in Dubai to be having such a difficult old time. I'm trying very, very hard to get myself a new publicist, and that is proving to be, thanks to these awful events, thanks to those very inconsiderate police officers going to arrest my husband, ex-husband, friend, person I used to live with, arresting him at a time when I am trying to rebuild my life here in Dubai, trying to rebuild it by getting myself a new publisher. Now, no one wants to touch me.
Rabbit
in more ways than one, and I just find that dreadful. I find that it's such a terrible thing, and I'm blaming them. I'm blaming the police because they really could have just given me a few.
This is great. We've got a birthday in the charts. Happy birthday, JK. Many happy returns. Sorry, but this is really good. I've already seen this as well, but it's just fantastic. And there's more from the book later for anybody who's not seen this great clip. I would actually buy that book if Intel Lady put it out, but then it could be the death of me, I swear to God. Oh, God, my face. Happy birthday, JK.
old days. I was almost there with one publicist, but sadly now they're not taking my calls anymore. I mean, I'm getting desperate. I'm going to start having to offer my toes up again. but no, on a serious note, I feel terrible for anyone who's ever been a victim of anything. I mean, I'm not suggesting I know anything, but just a victim of anything, you know, any sort of a crime is a terrible thing to be a victim. I don't know any specific crimes that people would have been, but what I'm trying to say is I feel sad about it. I'm taking it very seriously. It's a terrible thing. And had I known that the people I was associating with were actual criminals, even though one of them was in prison for being out of... But what I'm saying is I take it terribly seriously, as do my girls, and we...
It's a real book. Is it really a real book? Oh, God. I hope so. I hope so. Is that true? Please be true. Yes. Yeah, because that bit's coming up. That's the difficult bit.
We feel so wretched about the whole... Feel wretched. I do. I feel wretched that now I'm going to have to stay out here in Dubai for goodness knows how long until all of this nonsense has blown over. I mean, I don't know what I'm going to do. It's terrible. I'm going to maybe meet some friends later and just see if they could suggest anything. Hopefully, some of my very wealthy friends might be able to come up with some ideas about how I can save my own skin, because someone's got to be saved, and it may as well be me. But I do feel dreadful. I feel dreadful for my husband, ex-husband, friend, person I used to live with. I feel dreadful that he's had a rotten birthday. I just want to say happy birthday, Andrew. Happy birthday, because I know that somewhere deep down inside you do care. You do. You're feeling very sad about this. So happy birthday. I hope it gets better once you're out of the clanger. No, seriously. I'm sorry, and you know, maybe don't call me for a bit. Don't call me, because we can't be seen to be talking to each other at the moment. but also don't call the girls, because I don't think they'll pick up, to be honest. I think their husbands have said, no, putting our feet down about this. No, mustn't be taking calls from daddy or mummy. So that's a bit annoying for me, frankly, because I'm still waiting to hear from at least one of my girls. Come on, Eugenie, please pick up the phone. I managed to get myself out of that wretched bunker, no thanks to you, but you could have helped me get myself over to Dubai. I had to call in some favours, and that's not what you should be doing for your parents. It's disgraceful. But anyway, as far as I'm concerned, I've done nothing wrong, and I think...
It is real. The book's real. Well, then it's the perfect birthday gift for JK. Oh, like really? Oh, that's so good. That is so good.
I think that's what we need to focus on, because I don't want a visit from the Rozzers at the end of the day. Although they might be quite attractive. Maybe there'll be some nice ones to look at, I don't know. But I am taking it very, very seriously. So if the Rozzers want to talk to me, could it just be over the phone? Because I really don't want the indignity of being picked up and slung into a vehicle like those. Awful. But I do care about the victims as well. Of course I do, very much. And you know, no one wants to be doing anything wrong in their jobs either. So that's a serious thing, isn't it? Anyway, I've no idea. But I'm going to be thinking about everybody and worried about everybody from out here in very, 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 very hot Dubai. It's not good for gingers, you know. I can't go out in the sun or anything. But anyway, please buy my book. It's available now on Amazon right now. The Prince and His Special Friends. Look, I need the money, okay? I'm going to need something anyway. But seriously, I do care very much. And usually, just pick up the phone, will you? For goodness sake. Well, I told you, didn't I? I told you I didn't need a publisher. I could bloody well publish my own books, and that's exactly what I've done. It turns out that you could actually publish your own books on Amazon, and that's exactly what I have done. So here it is, my brand new book, The Prince and His Special Friends. It's all about an honourable prince named Andre who goes on a magical journey looking for special friends, and he bumps into a chap who can fix him up with some very special friends and take him to an island. I'm giving you a lot of spoilers. Spoiler alert, as they say. Anyway, I'm going to read you a little extract. Here we go. When they got to the island, the prince couldn't believe his eyes. He was surrounded by the most beautiful selection of special friends. Geoffrey Fapstein smiled and said, "Take your pick." Oh, lucky prince. If the prince could sweat, he would have. And that's just a little extract from my brand new book, The Prince and His Special Friends, out now on Amazon. Have a look below for a link that'll take you to buy this incredible book. Out now!
I'm going looking for the fucking link now. Right now. Oh, God. I can't type. Okay. Composure. Let's just get some details. I'll put the link in the description. For Intel Lady's book, I can't say the title without corpsing, so I won't. I just need to take it off the screen. It's a real book. It's a real book. Just go to Intel Lady's YouTube now. I'll sling a link in the description. Do highly recommend going and subscribing as well. There'll be a link in the description for that. Right, I'll do this post-stream anyway, because time's ticking on. That was fantastic. That was fantastic, and if the fact that it is a real book as well. Well done, Intel Lady. She does a lot of other impersonations as well. Whew. Get the music. We are back. Keep the composure. You're listening and watching to the Brews at 10 on my left eye.
Socialists.
Well, if that doesn't get to number 1 on the bestsellers lists, then it'll be an absolute affront to justice. Although if it was a real kid's book, it would be helpful for the safeguarding of children. Yeah. And then they'll have to do a theatre production show. Quality semi-professional broadcasting. And time for another special shout out to the members on the channel as well. Another extended teaser of Squeezebox Dave Newbie and Joey Ludlow coming up now. Blistering accordion solo, of course. Why is it? Dave Newbie, Joey Ludlow, available for birthdays, weddings, funerals, preferably funerals. It's a joke. Something that's not a joke though is getting back over the 200 line on this very stream, despite current glitches, of course. Do appreciate that. Final plugs. Please hit relevant buttons, thumbs up, and then hype. Please give us some of your hype points if you're watching on tablet. Please do that on video content. Specifically, if you can, please, some of our most recent releases. Super thanks are available if you're watching back later. And there's also a Buy Me a Coffee page in the description of this stream. We're going to be raiding in somewhere else shortly. Stick around though, people. Post ending shenanigans as always, and then a raid. Let's see where we might be going. We'll be back tomorrow for PMQs and Keith's catchphrases, of course. Do join us there, hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on future content. Idiosyncrasy, thanks for the attempt at the gifted membership. Unfortunately, that one's not gone through. It's like a lottery, isn't it, really, at this point? But let's please big up Idiosyncrasy in the chat, please, nonetheless. We're going to be raiding into this space in a few moments. There is no poll for me to announce on this stream. Yes, so that's just about it, people. Thanks for joining me on stream. You've been fantastic, as always. It's a pleasure. Power to the people. Free Palestine, Sudan, Yemen, and have I said Lebanon? Yeah, don't let the bastards grind you down. On my left, I'll be seeing you soon. Good night. Was Ziteo live? I thought I was already subscribed to them. Maybe the official channel account isn't. I'm not sure. Let's have a look. Good final shout there in there. I will have a quick look. If that's a preference. But yeah, I guess saying hello to Mehdi Hassan would be cool. Stay put. Some people are on the pitch, they think it's all over. Let's have a look now. It's having a think. Is it? They had to add. They would have to add us to the redirect list, unfortunately. It is there, but it's like greyed out as a selectable option. Might send him an email. Oh, whatever. That is definitely it, though. Thank you very much for watching. Once again, I won't go through all the rigmarole of the usual call out and whatnot. Good night, everyone.
The door is open and you can leave.
It's what Hitler and Goering did, and it is textbook. And if you think the next time it happens, we're gonna recognize it because they're wearing scary uniforms, you're out of your damn mind.